All right, let's get to it. Here is review 1A. Answers are exposed. We're going to speed through it as fast as we can. If you need to rewind or whatever the case is, then go ahead and do that. Constant rate of change. So in the table, it's telling me that the rate of change is constant. All I should have to do is subtract the x's and subtract the y's. It really doesn't matter which one I do. So 3 minus 0 is 3, 5 minus 1 is 4. Don't forget to put the y's on top because the rate of change is change in y over change in x. So it should be 3 over 4, which is C. Number 2, what is the slope of the line that passes through -2, -1, and 3, 5? Okay, so the slope form is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, it does not matter the order in which you subtract, as long as if I use the x term for the first number first, I use the x number of the second term second. So y is on top again, x is on the bottom. I would personally recommend 5 minus -1, which is going to become 5 plus 1 on top. That means I have to do 3 minus -2, which becomes 3 plus 2 on the bottom. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the slope is 6 over 5, which is F. Number 3, what are 3 numbers that have a sum of 35 if the greatest number is 14 more than the least number? All right, so there's a couple of things going on here. Here's what I'll tell you. Number 1, there is a problem like this on the test. Number 2, it's really not as hard as it looks based on the fact that it's multiple choice. Okay, so here's the thing. Sum of 35. That means these 3 numbers have to add up to 35. 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 20 is 33. Sorry. 5 plus 11 is 16, plus 19 is 35, so that's got some potential. 10 plus 11 is 21, plus 24 is 45. Sorry. 1 plus, well, here I would do this way. 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 1 is 31. So I didn't even do any work besides adding, and I have my answer of B. Now, just to make sure that it meets the other qualifications, so I added them up and they are 35. It says the greatest number, which is 19, is 14 more than the least number. So is 19 14 more than 5? It is, so we're good. Number 4, cost of cookies at store A are shown in the graph. The cost y for cookies at store B is represented by this equation, y equals 0.30x. Which of the following statements is true? So it gives me store B as an equation. It gives me store A on the graph. I need to find the slope of the line based on the graph. So I'm going to take these 2 points right here. I'm going to calculate the slope. Actually, what I would recommend doing is, in this particular case, you can use 0, 0. So it's going to be, here's this point, 2, 0.5. So 0.5 is the y minus 0. And then 2 is the x-coordinate of this point right here, right? 2, 0.5. So I've got 2 minus 0, which equals 0.5 over 2. If you divide that, you get 5 over 20, which is 1/4, which is 0.25. Let me write it down here. 0.25. That means it's 25 cents per cookie. So, which is true? The cookies at store A cost more. Do they? No, they don't. The cookies at store A cost 50 cents each. Do they? That was from the graph. Okay? No. The cookies at store B cost 15 cents each. Is that true? No, they cost 30 cents each. The cookies at B cost more. Well, A that we got from the graph is 25 cents and B is 30 cents. 30 cents is more, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to choose I. Number 5. What are the slope and y-intercept for this graph? Okay, we did an example like this yesterday. It needs to look like slope-intercept form. Right now it doesn't. y equals mx plus b. Right now it doesn't. I need to add 7x to get it to the other side so that it does look like slope-intercept form. If I do that, I get y equals 7x plus 10. So the slope is 7, the intercept is positive 10. Slope of 7, intercept positive 10, A. Number 6, which is the equation in slope-intercept form for the graph of the line shown? So from the graph, there's a couple of things that I can determine. Number 1, I identify the intercept. The intercept, here's the origin, is at 1, 2. So at plus 2. I can automatically eliminate these two because those intercepts are at minus 2. Remember, it's the same format as up here, y equals mx plus b. So if that's a minus 2, that means the intercept would be down here. So I can throw those two out. From that point, you can look at it one of two ways. This line is going up from left to right, so it should have a positive slope. I is the only choice that has a positive slope. If you want to get real technical about it, use this other point. To get from this point to this point, I have to go up and over. Go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. That sounds like a slope of positive 3 to me. That's why it's I. 7. David is having his birthday party at a water park. The park charge is $150 plus $10 per guest. The total cost of the party can be represented by this equation, y equals 10x plus 150. What does the slope represent? The slope of this, because it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, we just talked about it, the slope is 10. In the problem, where is 10? Right here. $10 per guest. So it's the cost per guest. Done. Easy. Which equation in point slope form, number 8, passes through 3, negative 1, and has a slope of 2? Okay, so first of all, slope of 2. Point slope looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times parentheses x minus x1. I apologize for the inability to write well on here. It's not very conducive to good handwriting. At any rate, the slope is 2, which means all of these right now have a slope of positive 2, so they're all in the mix. If they pass through the point 3, negative 1, though, I should have an x minus 3, because that 3 is going to go in there. So this says x plus 3, that's out of the picture. And this says x plus 3, that's out of the picture. So now I'm down to two choices. The y-coordinate was negative 1, which means if I put the negative 1 in there, it's going to become a y plus 1, which is f. Done. Number 9, what are the x and y intercepts for 2x minus 5y equals 10? Okay, to find the x-intercept, set y equal to 0. If I do that, it's basically like getting rid of this. So 2x equals 10, I would divide both sides by 2 and get x equals positive 5, which automatically cuts my choices in half. It's not that, and then it's not that. Next, I would do the same thing with the y value. Substitute 0 in for x. So that goes away. Don't forget to keep the negative sign. So negative 5y equals 10. That means y equals negative 2 if I divide both sides by negative 5. So if I'm down to choosing between C and D, C, because the intercept, the y-intercept is negative 2. Number 10. Xavier is $20 more than Sarah. Their combined money totals $90. Which system represents that? Okay, so first of all, combined money totals $90. That means that x plus s should equal 90. X plus s equals 90. X plus s equals 90. X plus s equals 90. Oh, that one says minus, so that can't be it. And those say minus, so that can't be it. Neither one of these. All right, next. Xavier has 20 more than Sarah. Okay, well, what does that mean exactly? It means that who has more? Xavier has more. If Sarah wanted to equal the number or the amount of money that Xavier has, she would have to add $20 to Sarah's to equal Xavier. Does that make sense? So it would be x equals s plus 20. But I don't see that anywhere. Okay, no problem. Can I make this equation look like one of these? Yes, I can. I can subtract s from both sides. What happens when I do that? It's eliminated from this side, and I've got this equation right here. X minus s equals 20, which means I'm going with G. Number 11. Which of the following is the solution of the system based on the graph? All I really want you to do is identify this point. There's the two lines. There's the intersection of the two lines. Tell what point this is. Well, here's the origin right there. So I'm going left 2, 1, 2, and down 2. So negative 2, negative 2. That's choice D. 12. What is the solution of this? Okay, again, I've got two equations. I want to know the x and y value that make these both true. I've been substituting. X minus 4 goes in for this y equals negative 3x. I would subtract x from both sides. Negative 4 equals negative 4x. Divide both sides by negative 4, I get x equals 1. So that does not have x equals 1. That does not have x equals 1. That does not have x equals 1. I believe it says negative 1 right there. And this has x equals 1. So I don't even have to do the rest of the work. I know that this is the correct answer. How would I know for sure? Take this 1 and plug it back in. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. That means the y value is negative 3. Okay, done. What is the solution of the system number 13? Move this thing out of the way. Same thing. Set these two things equal to each other because the x minus 10 is getting subbed in for the y. So it's x minus 10 equals 2x plus 5. We're going to move the x's probably over this way. It really doesn't matter. It really does not matter. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to subtract x. The basics are I want the x's on one side of the equation and the numbers on the other. We did that before. Okay, so this goes away. I'm still left with negative 10 over here. Negative 10 equals 2x minus x is x plus 5. Subtract 5. X equals negative 15. That's not negative 15. That's not negative 15. That is and that is. So I'm down to two choices. How do I know? Take this x value and substitute it back in. Y equals x minus 10. So y equals negative 15 minus 10. So y equals negative 25. Negative 15, negative 25. Check. I know that was fast. If you have questions about any of these after having gone through this video, please see me. Otherwise, you're ready for the test.